I want to welcome everyone to tonight's webinar. It's the Marathon Training Progress webinar where we're going to be focusing on what we've done over the last 10 weeks or so and what lies ahead of us over the next couple months as we get ready for the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. Now this information is really relevant mostly to people training for the Chicago Marathon as well as the Berlin Marathon, really more of those earlier fall marathons. But we're going to cover a few things. We're going to take a look back at what we've done, what the next 9 to 10 weeks are going to look like, and then just some other things to maybe think about as we tackle the last 2 months of training. But we're going to roll through a really short presentation and then have some time at the end for some Q&A. But I want to thank everybody for coming and attending tonight's webinar. And taking time out of your busy schedules. So, and excited for those who are not on the live webinar. Excited for you to check this out maybe on your next run. So what we're going to be talking about getting started here is, and let me turn this into present mode so we have a full screen here. So we're going to take a real quick look in the rear view. So we finished the foundation phase of training, that initial 8 to 9 weeks of training. We've got 9 full weeks of training under our belts. Hopefully we've developed some positive habits like implementing a warm-up and a cool-down before and after every run. We're hitting on our strength routines a couple times a week at least, and then etc. Maybe other examples would be learning a proper pace for our long run, dialing in nutrition, which we talk about, things of that nature. You know, we're starting to also gain an understanding of how our bodies perform and how they recover from one workout to the next. Again, as I mentioned, we're practicing nutrition and hydration on the run. For those of you training for your very first marathon, this is a new concept, especially when you're putting in endurance runs of 10 plus miles in a single workout. Hopefully we can take a look back and think, what went well, what went poorly, what would I change, what am I going to keep the same? And then also having taken an honest assessment of where you are now versus May 21st when you started training. So the next phase of training is going to consist of the next 8 to 9 weeks. What we can expect are more multi-pace or race pace workouts, i.e. faster running. Long runs become even more important as they more closely mimic what you're going to experience on race day. We're going to place an extreme focus on recovery, getting from one workout to the next. Running a long run on a Saturday, for example, using Sunday as a rest day, but then getting ready back for the Monday night workout or the Monday morning workout. Mental training, visualization is a key. Taking a look internally and starting to visualize what you want out of your training runs, and then also visualizing what you expect to get out of race day. Start planning preparatory races. Do you have a half marathon on the calendar? Have you got that scheduled? Maybe you're planning on doing an organized 20-mile training run before the marathon itself. Or maybe you have some shorter races like 5Ks, 10Ks on the schedule. And if you don't have those, but you plan on doing some sort of race to get geared up for the marathon, which I highly recommend, now's the time to start planning those races. It's also a time to develop a clearer picture of what your race day nutrition and hydration strategy is going to be. This comes from practicing that strategy in training. Are you going to use water and gels, or maybe it's something different like chews or whole food or sport beans, or maybe you plan on using the electrolyte beverage, usually Gatorade endurance formula that's on the course. Maybe you're going to plan on using that. So having a strategy in place, now is the time to really fine tune what that hydration nutrition strategy is going to be so you have it ready to go on race day. And focus on you. Today is July 26th. We can't be terribly concerned about October 7th. We still have a long ways to go. We have approximately 10 weeks until race day. A lot can go right, a lot can go wrong, but all that you can really focus on is today's workout and then tomorrow's workout and so on and so forth. Let October 7th take care of itself, and it will take care of itself as long as you put in the work. And then that's to my next point, embrace the grind. For most people, July and August are the hottest months of the year, and they just happen to coincide with some of your longest runs of the training season. So embrace the grind. Some of these runs are more than likely going to be pretty tough to get through, but just focus on what you can control, and that's your effort, and then showing up for every workout. It's also time to do a systems check. A couple bullets I included here. Do you have any pending physical ailments that need to be addressed? Maybe you felt a little niggle in your calf muscle last week when doing your run, and you're just hoping that it disappears. Now's the time to get into your local physical therapist, see if they have a complementary injury screen. Get in there, get it checked out, get some medical advice, and nip it in the bud before it comes something bigger. Gear check. What is your current state of your running shoes? When will you purchase your race day shoes? As a general rule of thumb, I like to have anywhere from 50 to 80 miles on my race day shoes heading into race day. So let that kind of be a guide as you plan how many more shoes you need to buy before race day. Or maybe you've already purchased your race day shoes, which is great. Are you having trouble fitting in your runs? Has training and actually fitting in the workouts proven to be more challenging than what you initially anticipated? What's holding you back from getting your runs in? These are all things to take a real honest assessment about and figure out where some of the pitfalls are. And then also remembering, what's your why? Why are you running the marathon? What made you sign up in the first place? A lot of you who are going to be listening to this and watching this are running for charity. So maybe that's your why, but maybe that's not your only why. Maybe it's to prove to yourself that you can do it. Maybe it's to support a family member or friend. Knowing your why is going to be really important, especially as the miles creep up in training and certainly on race day. We've obviously have some other webinar recordings out there. So I've included links to the training frequently asked question webinar that kicked off the training season back in May. I have the marathon nutrition webinar, which was our most popular webinar with our nutrition or our dietitian and nutrition expert, Tom Jordan. We have a strength training webinar with Denise Smith of Smith Physical Therapy and Running Academy. And the most recent webinar we recorded was the injury prevention webinar with Karen Shanahan of Athletico Physical Therapy. If you haven't had a chance to check any of those out, I encourage you to do so. They're a great listen, especially on your next run. I think that especially if you're struggling in any one of these areas, any one of these as a standalone are worth listening to and checking out. By now, everybody has the contact information, but if you haven't reached out for one reason or another, I encourage you to do so, even if it's just to say hi. But if you have a training-related question, an injury-related question, nutrition, please shoot me an email or connect with us on social media, which the links are there below. And then lastly, let's just remember to keep moving forward. Whether it's a bad workout today, just move forward. Maybe you had a bad mile. Maybe you're going to have a bad mile or a bad couple miles in your next run. Just keep moving forward. The most important thing is that we show up in our training. We string together days and weeks and months of training. And if we can do that and just keep moving forward, we're going to have success on race day. So with that, like I said, it was just going to be a really short presentation tonight. I also want to be aware of everybody's time. So at this point, I think I'm just going to turn it over. If there's any questions out there, I know we have a few people that are registered and are on the webinar right now. Feel free to include any questions that you might have. But just remember that our team is here. We're here for you. We have, like I said, 10 weeks to go approximately before race day, depending on the race that you're participating in this fall. And there's no question too simple. And we're here to be a resource for you if you need us. So we appreciate the trust that you put in us. And with that, I'll turn it over to the audience for any questions. And for those of you who are going to be listening to the recording at a later time and date, um, again, feel free to shoot me an email with any questions, comments, or concerns, whether it's about modifying your program because you've missed a couple of workouts, or you have questions about how to squeeze your workouts in. Maybe you have an upcoming vacation. Um, again, any question you might have, if you're anything you're unsure of, it's better to be safe than sorry and to err on the side of caution to contact us here. So just keep moving forward, guys. Embrace the grind. There's going to come a time when the calendar turns September where it's going to become more and more real that the race is actually happening and you're going to do it. I know it's easy to lose sight of that, especially during these really hot summer months. It seems like the marathon's never going to get here. It will get here. And all you want to do is be as prepared as you possibly can. Know that you've done the training. And if you know that you've done the training, then race day should be really a celebration and something that's fun that you can truly take in and enjoy. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Again, this is just a really quick morsel of information and really just another checkpoint to continue on our conversation about training and getting ready for these fall marathons. So with that, I'm going to leave you. Everybody have a great evening. And again, shoot me an email, give me a call, connect with us on social media. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks, everybody.